Hey friends, Jessie here from jessiebanks.com and welcome back to another video. So today we are creating this fun little galaxy using the Space Explorer stamp set from My Favorite Things. Mine's in the old packaging. I got it when it first came out. It is still available. All the products, of course, will be linked in the description box below. I'm starting things off by stamping all of my images out using VersaFine Onyx Black ink. Shouldn't have done that. Works great with watercolor. I decided to Copic color my images even though it's on watercolor paper. It sucks a lot of ink, but that's the way I went to go. I should have used a Copic friendly ink. So if you try to do this, use a Copic friendly ink. Also know that it's going to suck a lot of the color out of your, a lot of the ink out of your Copics because it is, I am using a cotton watercolor paper. So I pulled out my Neocolor 2s. I have not played with these things in forever. Like I've been talking about, I've been moving craft rooms and that's led me to find all of these things that I have bought over the years that I have not used in a very, very long time. So that's what I've been doing, is using all these things that I didn't use. I do have this sped up to like 10 times the original speed, if that lets you know how slow I was doing this, just to make sure I kind of stayed outside of the stamped image and was outlining everything. So I'm just doing sections of black to start with, and then I will come in and do Prussian blue next, and I'm just like scribbling it on. I'm going slightly over top of the black and back out into the main area, just getting that color down so that I can wet it with water and start to blend it all together. So it's just making sure that I put some of it everywhere. The next color I use is, I don't remember, hang on, let me grab my crayons here. That one is called Violet Purple, and the next one I go into is called Purple, but it's pink. Like the color is actually pink when you water it out, but it's called Purple. And then Rose for the lightest. Now I'm just taking a watercolor brush here. This is just a Zen watercolor brush from, who the heck makes those? Royal and Langnickel. It's one that's basically garbage. The tip is gone off of it. It doesn't work very well, but it's perfect for things like this where I'm just kind of dabbing on water to activate the crayon. You can see how it goes from being all scribbly to fairly solid. When I get to the end, you'll see how you can still see some of the white of the paper and some of the crayon texture, and I do go back in to get rid of some of that, but it works really well. So when I'm doing projects like these, I actually have a bunch of sketchbooks. I have like my watercolor sketchbook and things that I do paintings in. You guys don't see that, but I do that. But I do have one from, this is from, oh my goodness. It's just a Jane Davenport. That's what it is. One of the Jane Davenport sketchbooks. It's a smaller one. And I do practice in these. So like when I was doing the clouds for in gouache, that video was from a while back. I did practice a bunch of clouds in gouache in my sketchbook, and then I did it on the card. And for this, I did a couple different galaxy themes using Neocolor 2s in my sketchbook before I did it on the card, just so I knew how I wanted to go about it. You can see here how I'm going back into the crayons and I'm just pulling some of the color off of the crayon itself, just to help the blending and to make sure that those colors are very saturated on the paper and you're not seeing the paper through it and things of that nature. So I go through that process and then we're on to the coloring. But like I was saying, I do practice all of these things in my sketchbook. It's definitely helped. It allows me to play and figure things out and how I want to accomplish something before I stamp out the images and try it on the card. And I also have a lot of fun with it. So I don't know, maybe once I get partway through this sketchbook, I just started this one this year. I'll do a share so I can show you guys kind of how I practice things in the book and how then apply them onto the cards. If that's something you would be interested in, let me know in the comment section below and I'll mark it down so I do that as I get further in this book. So we're jumping into the Copic coloring. This is my typical Copic coloring. I am coloring from darkest to lightest, and that's it. I'm trying to stay away from those stamped lines and not color over top of them. Because like I said at the start, I use that VersaFine Onyx Black ink and it's not a Copic friendly ink. Should have used a Copic friendly ink. Again, if you do this, use a Copic friendly ink. You also don't have to use watercolor paper like I did. The Neocolor 2s will work well on a pulp paper, on a heavier, probably on your Nina Solar White, they'll work. Make sure you don't use too much water because you don't want to warp it too much, but they'll definitely work on there. So that's always fun. So we're just going through and doing all of our coloring. This is going to take a little while. We're going to color up his suit and add some blue to him, and then our planets and our little star balloons there. This card was so fun. I haven't played with this stamp set in a long time, and I've really, like I said, I've really been enjoying using products that I haven't used in a long time. Stuff I forgot I had and things of that nature. It's kind of been really fun. It's also helping me decide what I want to keep and what I want to let go of. My crayons, I'm keeping these. These are fun. I have a bunch of them. I don't have a complete set or anything. I grab them individually from art stores when I order different things. I'll throw 1 or 2 in, or when I go to the art store in the city, I'll pick up 1 or 2 more if I know what colors I want. I have ended up with doubles of some of my favorites just because I'm like, I don't think I have that one and it's really pretty, so I'm going to buy it. Then I get home and I'm like, oh look, I have 3 of the turquoise blue because apparently I really like that color. So I started writing them down in a book I take with me just so I know what kind of colors to grab if I want to add a couple. It's been fun. It's been a blast. And using these products in my cards has been fun. Like I said, I do paint outside of card making, and I have sketchbooks that I don't share on my channel. And I do lots of art outside of the rendering of images for cards and things like you guys see on my channel. So I have a lot of products that I use in my card making that actually stem from my fine art that I like to do. So I just kind of let them work as dual purpose. I mean, I might as well use them in my cards if I own them. So once that gray is done in his skin color, we're going to go in now and do some blue on his suit with the little stripes and all of the buttons on the front of his little spaceman suit here. This stamp set is adorable. It will never get old. I've used it 3 or 4 times now, which is actually a lot for me. I don't tend to use my stamp sets 100 times. I'm trying to get better at that. I am really trying to get better. Hence why I'm doing videos. But all of these are still available. Like this stamp set, you can still pick up from My Favorite Things. I will link it in the description box below. I do use affiliate links. Any money I get from affiliate links. So if you buy a stamp set for $10.99, I get a percentage depending on the store for referring you there. All of that goes into buying things for the channel, buying things people want to see, trying out new companies, new stamp sets, stuff of that nature, and doing videos for you guys. So it's not paying my bills. I work a full-time job, but it does help me have a little bit of funds to spend on crafting, because if I don't earn anything through either YouTube ads or affiliate links, I don't buy anything new. My son's 11. I have a mortgage. I just can't. So just thought I'd throw that out there, that's why I use affiliate links. If you want to use them, great. Thank you so much. If you don't want to use them, great. I hope you enjoyed the video. So we're doing our little stars here with some yellow. I contemplated doing these in a bunch of different colors, but I figured with the galaxy background, it might get a little too overbearing. So I just did all 3 of them in my typical yellow combination. Now we're going to work on our planet up at the top, starting with the R39 family or R30 family. I'm also going to end up doing the spots on the balloon with the same color combo, just so I have less colors going on. Trying not to keep it too terribly busy, but this one was fun, guys. I think it turned out so cute. I hope you like it. You can definitely create this background with watercolors, with your distress inks, with sprays, all sorts of things. I just used Neocolor 2s because I wanted to play with them, to be honest. Because I found them and I was like, haven't used these in a card probably ever. So let's use these. So finishing up the red spots on our moon down there. Now I'm going to color the rest of the planet in with the orange. And then I will use the E80, so that green-gray kind of family of Copics, for the rest of the moon. And it is freaking adorable. So I hope everybody's been doing well. I'm doing this voiceover now. Then I have to get ready and we're going tobogganing. We're going to take the snowmobiles. We're going to go out to the hill. We're going to spend a couple hours tobogganing up and down. Light a fire, have a hot dog roast, just kind of chill and hang out. It looks like the snow's not going to last much longer where I am, so we better enjoy it while we have it. That's for sure. Coloring in our moon. I'm running out of things to talk about. So, yeah, I don't know what to talk about. Oh, here we go. Okay, so this is some golden titanium white. This is a fluid acrylic paint. I'm adding just a little bit of water to it so that it splatters a little bit easier. I have lots of different white things that I use. This is just the one I grabbed this time. I'm just using a tiny little scrap of paper to kind of protect my little astronaut here. He gets a couple spots on him. No big deal. You don't really notice it. So splattering lots. I want lots of stars in that background. I wanted it to kind of help make the little bit harsher lines in the background less noticeable by putting tons and tons of stars in the background. And I think it looks really pretty. So I just kept splattering them. Now my favorite part, we're going to pull off the tape and have those clean white edges around our front panel for our card. And I'm going to adhere that onto, oh wait, no, what am I doing? Oh, I'm going in and adding a little bit of blue to where his mask would be, because that would be glass in front of his face, just to create a little bit of a shadow. And then I'm going to bring that white paint back, and I'm going to add a brighter highlight using the white just on the front shield of his little astronaut suit there. And then once that's done, I do believe I adhere him onto his card base. So this guy is going onto an A2 top folding card base, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So what I do is I take an 8 1/2 by 11 piece of paper and I cut it in half long ways so that I have 2 pieces, 4 1/4, and then I fold them in half. Now we're going to adhere that. You get a nice little border around it because my panel is only 4 by 5 1/4. Now I'm going to take a piece of black cardstock and I'm going to stamp out the sentiment, which reads, "You mean the world to me." So I'm going to stamp that out using first some mark ink. So it's an embossing ink, and then I'm going to emboss it using Hero Art's white embossing powder. Just on that scrap piece of paper. You can see I use my embossing buddy on there and it puts lots of white. Once my embossing is done, I'm just going to take a damp rag and wipe it off so that it's black again. So we stamp that out. Sprinkle our embossing powder on, and then we're going to heat her up. I just had a scrap piece of paper there from stamping off images. So there is the embossing powder. I will put that just back in the container. Heat up my heat gun so it's nice and hot before I start embossing. Then I just run it over top until it all turns shiny. Once it's shiny, it's done. Cut it out, put a little tail on the one end. Tape that down on the front of the card base, and that's it, guys. This one is finished. So if you did enjoy the video and you aren't subscribed, I'd love for you to subscribe to the channel. It helps me out a lot. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thumbs down if you didn't. Either way, it helps me. I don't really care. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the description box below. I will reply to everything I can. Like I said, I work full-time, so it's a little hard sometimes. But that's all, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you very soon. Bye for now.